Hello and welcome to Paces. My name is Chris.
My name is Ken.
Today we're recording a special episode, another film review. We just did The Odyssey last time, and this time we just got out of the theater watching Spider-Man Brand New Day, the fourth film in the MCU version of the Spider-Man film series. So we're really excited. We just wanted to share our thoughts kind of in a quick and concise manner. We have kind of a lot to talk about. But initial thoughts is I thought it was really great. Ken, what about you?
Yeah, it was great. It's we're gonna get deep in this episode. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So let's just start right off the bat. Just want to give a little bit of background stuff on this. But it came out, technically, it comes out on Friday, I believe, on the 31st. But we actually got to watch an early screening. Today is Wednesday, July 29th. And we got to see it because of Amazon Prime had kind of like a special. So we going to go see it at 7 p.m. today. We won't share which theater because it's not really important, but it was through the Amazon tickets that I got. So that was pretty cool. Pretty expensive, but for us, really excited. We're both really big Spider-Man fans, right? So right off the bat, just going off of this list of some production notes here. So first off, it was directed by Dustin Daniel Cretin, who he's had a couple good movies under his belt now. I'm looking at his filmography, and for example, he made The Shack, which was actually like a Christian film, right? From 2017. He made Just Mercy, which actually I didn't watch, but that was with Michael B. Jordan. In 2021, he directed and wrote Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, which both Ken and I enjoyed as well, right? And then he also directed Spider-Man, this 2026 movie. He actually, as I'm looking, he directed a few episodes of Wonder Man as well. So he definitely seems to be one of Marvel's kind of key directors right now. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he was attached to, Kang Dynasty. He was supposed to be the director of the Kang Dynasty as well. So it looks like they took him off of that and then put him here on Brand New Day instead. So he has a really good tone about it. It didn't feel like the other three movies of the past, which Ken and I will talk more about. Produced and distributed, produced by Marvel, of course, and Columbia, distributed by Sony. Obviously, they have the film rights to Spider-Man. And let's just get into the cast, and we'll kind of touch a lot on these characters here. So just a warning at this point moving forward, spoilers, right?
Heavy spoilers. Heavy spoilers.
Heavy spoilers. So don't watch this rest of this review unless you want to get spoiled. And obviously this is going to go up on day one. So first we have Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Spider-Man. Just right off the bat, Ken, what are some notes you thought about Tom Holland's acting as Peter Parker?
Oh, in this film, I thought it was great. You could really see how he's grown into Spider-Man and how he's really trying to change to fully be Spider-Man, and I think it's great in this film. Definitely a big jump in improvements compared to the other films.
I agree. I actually just watched Homecoming and No Way Home and Far From Home, not in that order, but in the chronological order. And man, watching some of these old movies, I'm like, man, this it's like I always said, like that was Spider Boy. It was very much like a Batman Beyond kind of version of Spider-Man. Didn't really feel like the Spider-Man that I know and love, but this time around, this movie felt much more like Spider-Man to me. And there's still a lot going on, but I do have to agree, like this is probably the best acting I've seen from Tom Holland in general.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It kind of shot right to the top for me of his filmography, and I was never really a big fan of his to begin with, but this one definitely shot to the very top for me with him. Next is Zendaya as Michelle Jones Watson as MJ. Again, I'll just start off right here. I'm honestly not really a big Zendaya fan. I don't really can think of any movies of hers that I was particularly fond of. We just saw The Odyssey, so this kind of feels like The Odyssey 2.0
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
But again, I thought she did great in this movie.
Yeah, I think in these films, I think she's actually pretty good. Like she's pretty funny in these movies. Also in this one, and I do think it's definitely a lot different than what they gave her for being Athena in The Odyssey.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at her filmography, and again, it's just, I mean, Dune Challengers seems kind of interesting. It's about tennis. Maybe I should watch that. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at her stuff, and I'm like, I'm not particularly fond of any of these movies that I've seen her in. But again, she played the role very well this time around. It made a lot more sense for her character, I thought. So, and plus, she's kind of playing a version of herself that doesn't remember Peter and doesn't remember Spider Man. And again, she sold it for me. Like this was a girl who was very confused. And there's that one scene when she's being, again, heavy spoilers here, but she's like possessed by Jean Grey, right?
Hmm.
And in that moment, like she really sold it for me.
Yeah,
Like kind of played
that
a
was so good.
yeah, like a possessed version of herself who didn't know Peter, who's finding out Peter. Like that's really hard. But she did this back and forth thing where again, I was like, man, that was great. That was really great. Let's see what else here. Next we have okay, this is the big one. I'm just going down the list that's on the Wikipedia cast here, but Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, in the same slash Carrion, which I didn't get that.
Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if that's incorrect or not, but Carrion is
Could
like a clone, so I'm not really sure what they're talking about here. I'm not sure who's putting that there. That seems kind of dubious to me, but in any case, Jean Grey has one of the most iconic mutants in all of X-Men history, obviously. Psionic abilities, telekinesis, telepathy, possession. This time around, we really saw this just the possession part of her powers, which we haven't really seen a lot of since Professor X's kind of version in some of the earlier X-Men movies. Now, the X-Men movies, that was like my generation and my era of the superhero films. So like very familiar with Jean Grey, Professor X, that original X-Men cast that's going to be in Doomsday. But, the buildup was great. And you have that moment when her character's name is revealed, right? And everyone in the theater just like kind of erupted. And it was an interesting take on Jean Grey, kind of seeing her as a villain. I kind of thought they were pushing it too far, like to the very end. And it seemed in a lot of ways like a rehash of No Way Home, in the sense of, you have this moment where Peter is going to kill the Green Goblin, right? And so now he's basically being the older Spider-Man, kind of character for Jean, and trying to assure her like it's not worth it to kill this main villain, right? Um yeah, not super sold on her character, but the acting was great on the part of Sadie Sink. I'll say that.
Yeah,
What
I
did you
I
think?
know like a lot of people were like I'm sure like some people were shocked, but I know I think I heard about it, like rumors that Sadie Sink was going to be Jean Grey in this. But I mean I Jean Grey in Marvel. I didn't know she was going to be in this movie, so that's definitely a big shocker. At the start of the movie, the big spoilers, when Yelena came in her in her office, she was like talking about the possession. I was like, that didn't click in my head that it was Jean. I don't know why, but I thought it was like Mephisto. That would have
Mhm.
been really interesting if it was Mephisto, but they probably wouldn't do that since they're doing Doom. But I definitely think it was really really good in this. I think also in like kind of near the end when she's in Peter's mind, I thought she did pretty good in that, and also like during like the other scene with her sister, I also thought it was really good.
Yeah, it was interesting, to say the least. Let's keep going here. Jacob Batalon as Ned Leeds. Again, I mean, this character of Ned has grown on me. Like, I think going to the first movie, I was kind of like, man, I just can't connect with any of these characters. But this Ned in this movie comes across as again kind of like eager and just a fan again, right? He's like a fan of Spider-Man. And I thought that this actor, right, Jacob Batalon, again, even though it's like I don't really have interest to see him in anything else really, but he's grown into this character for me, where I'm like, I love the scenes with Ned.
Yeah, I think the CEO did a great job in this movie. It's really really good. You could really see like how they were like how Peter and Ned were connecting, and then in the end he was like it clicked to him that oh, that's like my best friend, and I thought that was great near the end. And I definitely you could also see him growing into being Ned, and him like like doing like the tangents and the references, and I thought that was really good.
Yeah, agreed. The next major character is where is he here? Did I skip him? Yeah. Is John Bernthal as Frank Castle slash the Punisher. Ken, what did you think about the Punisher in this movie?
Oh man, he was hilarious. It was so great. So like I think he did a really good job. Like I know like people love him and I think people do like him in Daredevil, and I know like John Bernthal has always been like he really tried to be the Punisher. Like he really did his homework, and I do think he did great in this, and he was hilarious with the back and forth with Peter, and it was so good, just amazing in this movie. And I do like his voice. I think his voice, it makes sense for the Punisher, and you can kind of see like he really tries to push in like some emotion with during that one scene when MJ like opens that little like drawer.
Hmm.
That was pretty good. That was really good.
Yeah, this is the character I'm a little bit indifferent about because, again, I looking back, I'm kind of just like, did he have to be in this movie? I'm not really convinced of that, like it didn't seem like he brought anything particularly unique. And instead, he actually just kind of got in the way every time, right? Like I think, at least in my opinion, kind of from the beginning, scene that he pops in where he's like, Spider-Man is chasing this tank. Yeah, so I think he kind of got in the way a little bit, but I do agree. His banter with Spider-Man is the best of the whole series. Like better than Spider-Man and Iron Man, better than like Spider-Man and Hulk or Doctor Strange. Like that relationship felt like really, really real to me. Like that was cool. They really played it off each other very well. Let's keep going here. These are much quicker. So Florence Pugh as Yelena Belova again. I had no idea she was going to be in this movie, so that was a
Yeah,
surprise to me.
yeah, that was a really big
um,
shocker.
but again, I didn't really find her all that helpful. She had a really funny scene. Both scenes that she kind of comes out in, she's very charming. She's very cool kind of actress. She plays her role very well. Like she just really owns it. But again, I was like, do we need another superhero in this movie? Like, you know. But it was cool, believable in a way. One thing I really liked that she kind of emphasized was that she was kind of saying this thing where like she's like, the new Avengers are big potatoes and you're small potatoes. And this movie felt like street level Spider-Man again, in a way. Besides this crazy Omega level mutant that's basically like running amok, right? But besides that, it did feel for like half the movie, it did feel like a street level Spider-Man, right?
Yeah, it was
Um,
great. Like near the start, you could kind of see like, and he kind of like he fights with himself. Like it gets like kind of like grungy. Like you can see him like fighting inside while he's doing the stuff. Like when Jean possesses Scorpion again, and like he's out. You can see that like feeling. He's like confused and angry and at himself and also at what's going on, and he just like absolutely like beats the crap out of Scorpion. And that's also like one thing. The choreography is great, but I just think that I don't know why, but I prefer like Andrew Garfield's way of fighting. Like in those movies, like in that one fight scene with the lizard, like you could like they kind of did it with the Hulk scene. Like Andrew was like crawling around around the lizard, and like you could see him like actually like being like a spider and making like webs and traps and stuff like that. And I thought that was really good because this is definitely way more sporadic
Agreed.
than the other Spider-Man.
Agreed. We'll keep going. We have Tramel Tillman as Bill Metzger. I wasn't familiar with this actor like at all, but he was cool. He
Yeah, he was
was
good.
really cool. Like
He
I
was
kept looking
really
at his
good.
outfit. I was like, this guy looks cool. But I'm looking at him right now. He's 41 years old, but he looks like really young, kind of in this
Yeah,
movie. He came across. I was kind of like, man, who is this guy? Like he had a really cool fit on, really cool voice, really cool like energy, kind of like like whenever he was, especially like when Jean Grey was hunting him down. I did. The thing is, there's this moment, and this is gonna big spoiler, but when Spider-Man helps him capture Jean Grey, and he mentions the Sarah thing, and he's like, "Oh, like she just went into my mind, and she says Sarah." I immediately knew it was like, "All right, this is off." Like
Yeah.
that part, I maybe it was on purpose to kind of give us the whole breakdown right there, but I was like, "There's no way this is the end," and because we haven't even seen that scene when he's fighting the hand that's in the trailer. So unfortunately, it kind of spoiled the whole. The
Yeah.
trailers were
Yeah. Oh yeah.
in
The
hindsight, like man, I know this is like almost every Marvel movie, but this was probably the worst, most
yeah, these
egregious, like
these these trailers are
are out
like
of
they show
control.
like I dude, oh my gosh. It's in Doomsday too. They show
Mhm.
everybody. They don't give you a single surprise, and I hate that. That's so bad. Like that's always what's been like horrible with all these Marvel movies is that they show the entire movie in the trailer. They don't give you any surprises. Like if even if the Punisher was like a surprise, that would have been great.
That would have been
Or if
great. Yeah.
yeah, or if the hand was a surprise, that also would have been good. Like if they just showed the Hulk and the Scorpion and him like fighting the Tombstone or any of these like street level the level characters, that would have made the movie so much better. So like that shock, like that oh I didn't expect it to get
Yeah,
like this.
the only surprise for me was Yelena.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, almost
just
everything
Yelena.
else was kinda spoiled. Even Sadie Sink as Jean Grey, like, that was the predominant guess because people saw her with red hair, and in the trailers, they basically show you that it's a possession kind of,
Yeah,
character.
it's like when they do it within in the Mario movie in the
Mhm.
they didn't even people like if people get surprised with Fox being in the movie like they I don't know why these I get it's because they want as many people in those seats as possible, but like you can't really like
I
let us
mean,
be
yeah,
surprised. They always do this and it's so bad. So
I know,
bad.
and it's, like, most egregious with, like, their biggest movies, but I feel like it's
Yeah.
getting worse, like, kinda
Mhm.
like with Captain Falcon. Leave that in. That would be a good clip. What the heck is his name? Captain America. Captain America and Red Hulk. You know, it's like, come on, guys, come on. He's in it for
Yeah.
like 10 minutes. If Red Hulk was just in the movie, people would have freaked and would have been like, man, you have to see this movie. But they ruined it. You know,
Yeah,
and that movie was
he was
garbage anyway.
yeah,
But
it was a bad movie and like he was only in it for like the last fight and that was it.
yeah, and same thing
Literally
here.
it.
It's like even like I remember like I think you turned to me and you're like, "Who did this? Like damaging the apartment?" And I know you would have known it already, but I was like, "Oh, Hulk," because he's in the trailer and we haven't seen
Yeah.
him yet. So it's like man,
I don't know
you
why
immediately like
like I was kind of like I knew Hulk was in the movie. For me it sounded I thought it was the Rhino. It would have been really cool if it was the Rhino,
yeah
but then they Hulk Hulk was so good in this. That was
yeah
for sure. That was for sure. Hulk was like they really like you just thought like oh this guy's already like he's super strong even when he's possessed by Jean Grey, but just the fact that you really see how big he is when he's actually the Hulk. That was great. That was great. That I didn't expect. That was good.
yeah. I mean, admittedly, like I'm a I can't stand Mark Ruffalo. So every movie he's in, just his persona, the way he carries himself, I just think he's quite obnoxious if I'm being honest. And so I've always this is my least favorite iteration of the Hulk. But I will say that the fight scenes between Hulk and Spider-Man here, and obviously they're kind of going back to like the original comics, like of Spider-Man fighting Hulk and how he has to be so agile and Hulk is like crazy. It was great. Some of the best
Yeah.
Hulk scenes we've seen since like Avengers One.
Yeah,
You know,
I think this is definitely better than Endgame Hulk. Like with the
yeah,
him just like somehow being Hulk and being himself. That was I didn't like that. That was really bad.
yeah. Well,
Because
even
like they
Infinity
make
War
him
like
yeah,
was
yeah, that
worse.
too. They just make him like really weak in both those films. When he's like when it's
Yeah,
I mean, come on, it's the Hulk. He's giant. He's mean, he's green, and like he's like an
yeah. I'm
unstoppable
just glad
force.
it seems like we're done with Smart Hulk.
Yeah,
Like it
that's
even
good.
says here, brand new day sees him regressing to his uncontrollable, destructive, savage Hulk persona, which is so funny. I was like, what do you mean savage Hulk? You mean just Hulk?
Yeah.
Like it's weird that they want smart Hulk to be the normal Hulk. Like that's not normal Hulk. Hulk is just Hulk. You don't have to say savage Hulk. He's just Hulk. Like that's what he is. Anyway, let's keep going here. Sheila Rivera. I don't even know what that is. Uh, okay, I don't know.
Is that
I
like
didn't watch
the? Is
Daredevil.
that like?
I think she was a cop. I don't even know. I didn't watch Daredevil Born Again. So, let's see here. There's just a few more. I'm sorry, guys. Interesting. It says that the boyfriend of MJ, his name was Harry. I didn't catch that at first.
Isn't
I
that the
don't
guy?
think it's
Wasn't he? Isn't he in Homecoming and all the other movies?
I don't think so. I think he's
Because
new.
yeah, wasn't that one guy like that like Peter didn't like and none of them really liked.
No,
He was kind of like a jerk.
different. No, different
Oh,
guy. Uh, Sarah Gray is in this movie. Um, Sarah Gray doesn't really appear that much. I mean,
I think you're
Sarah
just
Gray
getting into the
is I think in some and yeah, in most of the other X-Men movies, but I think it's kind of like a very minor character. So it was interesting seeing a lot of footage about like Sarah Gray actually, which was again kind of a huge spoiler
yeah.
there. But what else you had?
The
I
what was that like the commissioner,
Boomerang.
the detective? I forgot his name. Her name, sorry.
I don't remember her name, but
I don't even
I
think
think
she had a name. I don't think they gave her a name. It was like the mayor, the detective, the commissioner. I have no clue. She was working with the police, I think.
yeah, not really sure.
I forgot her
Apparently,
name.
Cindy Moon is in the movie as well. That's Silk, and I think Silk is supposed to be in Spider-Man 2, I think, in the video game. So that's kind of interesting. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I didn't.
So okay, now let's just get into some of these major plot points. We're at what 24 minutes, so with the rest of our time, let's just kind of go through some of these plot points here. But this movie takes place roughly 4 years after No Way Home. Peter has disappeared from the world's memories, so no one knows who he is. None of his friends, not Happy Hogan, not the Avengers. So that's kind of an interesting kind of new version of kind of this kind of seems like he's struggling, he's living alone, he's very isolated, he's thrown himself into Spider-Man work. Um, this time around, we see a Peter who's like not just isolated, but he's kind of drained, right? He's like tapped out.
Yeah,
This is like all he does now. Uh, this is definitely like the most mature adult version of this Spider-Man that we've seen. Maybe since like the very end of No Way Home when he's like about to kill Goblin. But other than that, like this feels like a continuation of that Peter who he's like depleted. He's kind of just doing it for the sake of doing it. And one thing I liked is throughout the beginning of this whole arc is he's on his phone the entire time watching the social media of his friends, and that kind of made you really relate to him and feel for him, where it's like, man, that sucks. Like you're trying to live this noble life and your friends are just going on kind of without you. What did you kind of think about like the setup of this movie in that way?
I think that was good. They really tried to. They really showed like Peter's like emotional struggle because he really wants to go out and embrace his friend and his girlfriend, but he's afraid of like the loop happening again, and you can really see like that fear when Jean is like possessing one guy and then she says his name. Like you can really like see that fear that it might just like fully happen all over again.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was really good.
So that's a lot of like the first part. And then we start to see as he's doing a street crime, fighting, I think like Scorpion, fighting these guys. A lot of these criminals are claiming not to remember what they were doing. And he sees, and then there's this really cool chase scene, right? Where he's kind of chasing down these people who are being possessed, like to the helicopter, right?
Yeah.
And I have to say that when Jean Grey possesses these people, it's really freaky, right? They
Yeah.
kind of like snap their neck back a little bit. Like it seems like they almost got like punched in the head. It's kind of a freaky look, like watching it. It almost felt kind of like we were talking about with the Odyssey, like kind of like almost like horror vibes a little bit. Like it was kind of a dark. It was really dark to look at. Um, and meanwhile, as he's discovering that there's this kind of threat, this kind of telepathic threat, and that can't possess him, he starts his spider like DNA and hormones are like taking over his body. Like he's kind of having his own version of like a Hulk out, right? Where his eyes go completely black, kind of like in the comics, and he started to shoot organic webs, which was a really funny scene It felt really reminiscent of the like Tobey Maguire Spider-Man.
I also one of the really funny scenes where it's just him is when he's like trying to make like the inhibitor to control that, and then he's just looking at the video of the spider, and then he's like, and
Uh,
then it's talking about like going into the stages, and then it's like
yeah,
that. I think like the spider like molting and then like growing, and then he's like he's like looking at it like, is that gonna happen to me? Yeah,
right.
that was hilarious. Like they
It was
really
good.
tried to make him spider like, and that was good. I just think I wish they did that with the fighting. Like yeah, with Andrew Garfield, you can see him like wrapping around the lizard and using his webs like an actual spider and making traps in those films. And I wish, and if they, I feel like if they did that with his fighting, that would have been really good. That would have made this movie immaculate, in my opinion.
Yeah, and at some point I was like almost afraid. I was kind of like, man, are they gonna do like Man Spider? Like, is he gonna grow his other two arms or something like that?
Yeah,
And I was like, but it would look so weird. It would look so bad. But I'm kind of glad they didn't. But it kind of hinted at like that might happen or something like that, which was kind of
yeah.
interesting. Now this is where Punisher becomes a much more I didn't know he was gonna be in the movie this much, but he has like a
Yeah,
lot
I
of.
just thought he was going to be in this movie for like a little bit, and that's it. I didn't expect him to be in like the entire movie.
Mhm. So you kind of see Punisher come to the picture, and again, he's kind of like in Peter's way. He's kind of just trying to mow down whoever's doing this thing, and Peter's again trying to calm him down and get him out of the way. The Department of Damage Control becomes a huge player in this movie with Metzger, right? And as these attacks are increasing, they want Spider-Man to help them kind of solve it, basically. And immediately from the jump, you're like, these guys are suspicious. Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
I mean, what you're taking like the weapons of like the people that he's fought, and you're using
yeah,
everything that he's beaten, and like it's kind of like with the shocker and the hand, and like everybody's dealing with. Yeah, it was really suspicious like from the start. And I
definitely.
also like they were using the hand like I don't know, it was kind of weird that, like how they were using the hand in this film. It was good. The fight scene was really cool. What you could really see them like they were like fight like they were just like a hand. Like they were all connected and they were fighting and they were all like on him at the same time, and that was really good. But
Definitely
they really didn't use them that much. They were just kind of like silent like security guards essentially. But I did think it was kind of interesting in how they were depicted in this film.
agreed. Then the movie kind of takes another. It goes backseat where it's again Peter repeatedly trying to get back into MJ and Ned's life. I did think that the party scene was really good
Yeah, that was
because
good.
you could really feel his like longing to want to be back in their lives. And it's a little bit early in the movie, but I just wanted to bring it up because that was a scene for me that really sold it. I'm like, man, this feels like a genuine dude who just wants to be back with his friends. So you do really kind of feel for that. But I do have to say that around this part of the movie, like when it's like the scenes with Punisher, Spider-Man, and MJ, I'm like, all right, this is so much. I kind of felt like they could have cut out like a good 15 minutes out of the movie with all these interactions with MJ. I'm like, dude, move on. Like, and you kind of get that sense too. It's like it doesn't even end in a resolution with her remembering him. It is kind of like, so this was all a waste of time. Like,
Yeah, yeah, that's true. They
you
really
know,
just like I mean I get it. Maybe
yeah.
maybe you'll probably move on to Gwen. Was it, I think that was like Gwen at
That
like the
blonde girl
start,
did
right?
like Gwen, right?
Yeah,
And then
I thought it was
yeah,
I thought
good
I thought
catch.
MJ was gonna I thought she was gonna die. Like I really
Yeah,
thought like it was gonna
yeah,
happen. Like he couldn't catch her in time, and then she really just like die like that.
yeah,
I thought they were gonna do that. That would have been like a really big shocker, but
yeah.
but I don't really
And
think
and
they really do
obviously,
in these
and
films.
obviously, I think the reason why they're in the movie so much is because Jean Grey finds out that he loves MJ, and so she basically hunts her down to try and get control over Peter. So,
Yeah.
and again, that scene was great. That scene was amazing.
Yeah, that
Like
was
when
such a
she
good scene.
possessed MJ. Yeah. So now
Like you
let's get
didn't,
down
yeah,
to kind of the final arc here with the final battle. The villains, the Gray, launches this attack controlling multiple people because she gets captured. Right, we talked about that. She gets Spider-Man basically hands her over to damage control, and then like you're almost thinking like the movie's gonna end, but obviously, like I said,
yeah,
because we knew more scenes were still there. There's still like this almost final arc here where now that Jean Grey is captured, this guy is performing like psychological experiments and stuff, and they get really intense. And that whole scene is like really intense. And I have to say, it felt like an X-Men movie at that point, right? It really
Yeah.
switched in tone for me. I was like, in a good way. I was like, this doesn't feel like Spider-Man anymore. This feels like an X-Men movie. Like a lot of these X-Men movies are like these humans interrogating or torturing the mutants. And so I'm like, man, this is like heavy for a Spider-Man movie. I'm like, again, I can't reiterate enough. Like, this is where it got dark. It got like really psychological, really heavy. It felt almost like the new Avengers, right? We talked about that. Like that, we thought that was like the
Yeah.
most depressing, sad
New
movie.
Avengers. New Avengers was such a great movie. Definitely like
Yeah.
this film, and they really are trying to get really dark, and I think it's really good. Like they don't really use it. They don't try to make it like overly like edgy, but it's still
Yeah.
really good. It's really good.
Yeah. It's not really edgy, but it is more the psychological battles, which you kind of
Yeah.
see. And again, even with Peter's own body fighting against him, right, with this kind of mutation that he's having as well. So, um, there's kind of that last show off with Hulk as well, or we mentioned that, at that end, and I love how it ended. I thought it was a really good fight. And then there's this kind of final battle with Peter and the Hand, and again, you can tell like he's gonna be overwhelmed, overpowered, so he breaks his inhibitor, and he kind of unleashes this new version of himself. But it turns out he's kind of also in control of it now, which
Yeah.
I didn't really buy because I'm like, just be out of control, dude. Like just like it's hard to pick and choose there, but apparently he could. It's kind of like his own Hulk, I guess. Don't really buy
I don't
it,
know.
but it is.
I guess it's just like that scene was really him just fighting with like his inner demons. Like I think they were trying to make like poke out like the arachnid is like his inner demons. Like he was like just trying to understand like yeah the longing and the loneliness and just like this problem like tearing him from the inside out. And I think it's kind of like him just like accepting it and him just
Yeah,
like okay like this is just like my life now.
yeah, and I do like his kind of tactic of letting Jean Grey in his mind. I thought that was really smart. Like
Yeah, that
that
was
made
good.
sense. That made a lot of sense, and kind of even having Aunt May be that heart and center of the movie, and that's kind of what calms Jean Grey down. So I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
And then finally, after it all ends, I guess seemingly, it seems like okay, we didn't even talk about the him getting shot, but that was kind of crazy. For
Yeah,
a
I
moment
was
there, I was like, oh shoot, I think he's dead.
yeah, I know. I
Uh,
like is he dead? But I
yeah,
mean it's Spider-Man.
and
They're
but
not gonna
it
kill
it
him.
kind of ends with MJ kind of moving on, like doesn't remember him anymore. Very similar to like Gamora and Star Lord.
Yeah, Warren
And then
Star-Lord.
Ned also does not remember him, but it seems like at the very end, like he may have remembered him, right?
Yeah,
So
like it just
maybe
kind
at
of
least
clicks
they'll kind of
all
rekindle their
together.
friendship. And then finally, it just seems like him kind of having to move forward. So my only kind of final note that I want to share is like, dude, I was so convinced that we were gonna get a Miles Morales shout out here somewhere. Okay. The last thing I noted was I was so certain we were gonna get a Miles Morales shout out. Yeah. Well, I had no idea what was gonna happen. It just seemed really obvious. Cool. All right, Ken. What is your final rating for Spider-Man Brand New Day? Yeah. I was at a solid 8 out of 10. I thought it was great, great. Again, I think some cleaning up would have been good. I'm a little bit over the him chasing MJ and Ned thing, even though again I know that's a very center point for Peter. Yeah, agreed. Well, I guess next is Doomsday, so just a couple months, and we'll see what happens. So, but thank you guys for listening, for checking out our channel and page. Please consider following. Please leave a review. It just helps more people find our videos. And stay tuned for more. See you guys.